So let's proceed. Now we have been making queries, all right, but I still brought this one here because here I'll show you some different queries you can make, because if you are analyzing your data, these are things that you definitely do. All right, so let's start with something. Now let's ask this question. Let me just put it here. Okay, let's say, let's check, let's do this. Display model or models with accuracy score greater. Let's see, greater than, okay, let's use this, greater than 0.77. Now let's ask this question. We are going to do everything in pandas. We are asking this question. All right, now let me do this. Let me do this here first. Let me just display the df we have here. Now this is a smaller table, so obviously we can just check manually and find it. And even still, even this one, 0.77, you now have to find each of them and compare. Okay, of course here we just made accuracy, so you can just look at them and then manually check. But if you have data with lots of entries, then it's virtually going to be difficult or even impossible if you have lots of tables, or let's say lots of entries for that particular column of interest. So this is where programming comes. So this question I've asked, it's simple. This is what we do. If you want to make queries, you just call the data frame, in this case is df, and then you bring a square brackets, and then in the square brackets you make the query. All right, so what we are saying that the query, whatever we get, should return to us. Okay, so here you ask, so if you want to ask, you say df, and then you bring a square brackets, and you bring your column name accuracy like this. Okay, it's similar to how we did this. We generated a plot like this. So here we just call df, and then we specify the column of interest. All right, so it's the same thing we are doing here. You call your df, the main df, and then in it you specify your column of interest. Okay, and you just say greater than 0.77. All right, so like this. So here we have the df. This is the question itself. Okay, but we want to ask the question and return all records that meet this requirement. That's what we are doing. Okay, now let's do this. I think it's better I start with the other one first. Let me do this here. This is the question itself. Let's just look at it. I think I'll come back to this. All right, I want you to look at what's happening. If I say df accuracy greater than 0.77, this is the question. Okay, we are asking this question, df accuracy greater than 7. That's the question. Let's execute this command. Now you see this happening. True, false, false, etc. All right, but this one, we have this is telling us which entries have or satisfies the requirements. In real situation, you would want to get the records themselves. You want to see the records. All right, so this is where the other command or the other code I was writing comes in. So you have your question already. You start with your df because the question you want to subset from that data frame, which is df. So that is where this comes in. This comes in. So this is there. Okay, and then you now bring your question in it. So you have df accuracy greater than 0.77 like this. Okay, so let's execute this command. Okay, so now when you execute it, then you'll get the output. Okay, so what is happening is that the indexes here will be used. Okay, the indexes will be, so all the indexes that are true, here we see true to there are 2, and symbol and rf. So those indexes, okay, they will be used to get us those values, okay, or those records. Let me just put it that way. So that's what we have. So if you take a look at these two models, they all have accuracies or accuracy scores greater than 0.77. All right, that's what we have here. Okay, so this one is simple. Instead of displaying your table and then checking them manually, which can be problematic, or which can be difficult, and can even lead to mistakes, you just use the power of programming, and then you get this done. Okay, you can also ask more than one question. Now let's look at another question here. Let's just expand this. I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just copy this here. Let's use something. I want to add something else. So we have accuracy greater than 0.77. And then, okay, now let's do this. Let's ask this other question. So let's say display models with accuracy score greater than 0.77, and let's add this. And let's add another column. And let's say F1 score greater than 0.7950. Okay. So here, if you have this question, obviously we know the answer is going to be ensemble. But then how do we write it in quotes? That's what we are going to do. So here, that's what we do. For now, let's just put those questions. So these are the questions we are asking. DF accuracy, okay, greater than 0.77. We are also asking DF F1 score greater than 0.7950. These are the questions we are asking. All right, but we are asking, so we want a record that satisfies both. That's where the N comes in. Okay, so this is going to be the question. If you are to write it, okay, we have to do the final code. We bring our DF, bring our square brackets, and then in it we do it. Now, because we have two questions, if it's two or more questions, we add something else. To separate them, we use parentheses. So the first question, we bring it in parentheses. So that will be DF accuracy, all right, greater than 0.77. And then the next question too, that'll be end, that'll be DF F1 score. It's supposed to be in parentheses. Let me just correct it here. Yeah. So we say end, we'll bring our parentheses again. We say DF F1 score greater than 0.7950. All right, like this. And then this one is already there. Okay, so we are good to go. So if you are still getting confused, you can just write your question somewhere like this, put them in quotes. Okay, so I don't get confused. And then you can just bring all of them together. So you can just copy them. Sometimes, so it's better to break the problem into two or more, into smaller tasks, and then solve them. And then you add this. So this one, if a beginner, you will not get confused. You can do it this way. And then finally, you can copy everything. You can have your base command, your DF in it, and then you can copy everything in it. Okay, and that will also give you your command. Let me just do it slow here. Okay, and that will also give you your command. Yeah, it's supposed to be this. Okay, let me just play it and paste it again. You just paste your command like this, and that is it. All right. Okay, so this becomes the final command. Okay, so if a beginner, you can just try it this way so that you don't get confused. But for me, I'm used to the Python environment, so I don't need to do all this. I can do it straight away, like what I'm doing now, which is this one here. So I don't need to go the long route but for you, you have to do it. All right, so just take your time and then try it how you want it, and it will be done for you. Okay, so now this is the final command. So let's execute it. So when you execute it, you now have this. All right, so this is the one which satisfies both. Right, the RF has an accuracy of 0. It has an accuracy of 0.7, which is greater than this one, and F1 score, which is also greater than 0.795. The F1 score is 0.7961. Okay, here this one here, the ensemble, the F1 score was 0.7950, but I want F1 score of greater than this number, hence we getting this result. All right, so this is the power of pandas and the power of programming. All right, so things are looking very, very cool. Okay, now you can also do some complex queries, ask questions and answers. For example, you can look at the maximum. You can also assign the maximum value to a variable and then just make the query. But anyway, there's an intro, and so for those activities, I'll go into details in separate videos. Okay,